A chill settled over Yulee, Florida. Joleen Cummings, a vibrant young mother, vanished. Gone. Days melted into weeks, hope fading with each tick of the clock. Where was Joleen? At Tangle's hair salon, whispers turned to dread. Joleen's station sat untouched, a silent testament to her absence. Her last client had seen her with a co-worker, Kimberly Kessler. But Kimberly, it seemed, was a phantom, her life a tapestry of fabricated identities. The name Kimberly Kessler was just the tip of the iceberg. It was a name that would unravel a web of deception so intricate, it left even the most seasoned investigators astounded. Kimberly Kessler, a seemingly ordinary name, was the key to a labyrinth of false identities and hidden truths. Investigators unearthed a staggering truth. Kimberly had lived under a dozen aliases, drifting from state to state. Each alias was a carefully constructed persona, complete with fabricated histories and meticulously forged documents. She was a ghost, slipping through the cracks of society, leaving behind a trail of confusion and unanswered questions. Who was she running from, or towards? The questions multiplied as the investigation deepened. Was she fleeing a dark past, or was she in pursuit of something even more sinister? The shadows of her past loomed large, casting doubt and suspicion on every step she took. Each uncovered alias peeled back another layer of deceit. The detectives found themselves entangled in a complex game of cat and mouse, where every new discovery led to more questions than answers. The deeper they dug, the more elusive Kimberly became, like a mirage that vanished just as they thought they were getting close. Birth certificates, social security numbers, even military records, all meticulously crafted, all utterly false. Each document was a piece of the puzzle, a fragment of a life that never truly existed. The sheer scale of her deception was mind-boggling, a testament to her cunning and resourcefulness. Kimberly Kessler was a master of disguise, a chameleon who had successfully erased her past. But why? What drove her to such lengths? Was it fear, greed, or something else entirely? The answers remained just out of reach, hidden behind the many faces of Kimberly Kessler. As the investigation continued, one thing became clear. Uncovering the truth about Kimberly Kessler would be no easy task. Behind the carefully constructed facades lay a psyche shrouded in darkness. Kimberly's life seemed perfect on the outside, but those who knew her well could sense the turmoil beneath. Her eyes, often distant and haunted, told a story of pain and secrets. The shadows of her past loomed large, casting a long, dark shadow over her present. Whispers of past trauma and mental instability emerged, painting a picture of a deeply troubled woman. Friends and family spoke of her erratic behavior, her sudden outbursts, and the nights she spent crying alone. The scars of her past were not just emotional but also physical, hidden beneath layers of clothing and makeup. Had her past demons finally caught up with her? The question lingered in the air, heavy and foreboding. Kimberly's history was filled with moments of darkness, from a troubled childhood to tumultuous relationships. Each step she took seemed to be shadowed by the ghosts of her past, always watching, always waiting. And was Joleen an unwitting victim of those demons? The bond between the two women was complex, filled with moments of both tenderness and tension. Joleen had always been there for Kimberly, a beacon of light in her darkest times. But had that light been snuffed out by the very darkness it sought to dispel? The evidence against Kimberly, though circumstantial, was mounting. Each new piece of information painted a more damning picture. Witnesses recalled seeing her in places she shouldn't have been, doing things that raised more questions than answers. Surveillance footage showed her acting suspiciously around the time of Joleen's disappearance. The grainy images captured her pacing, looking over her shoulder and seemingly talking to herself. What was she hiding? What secrets lay behind those furtive glances? Her car contained traces of Joleen's blood. The forensic evidence was damning, a silent witness to a possible crime. The bloodstains told a story of violence, of a struggle that had taken place within the confines of that vehicle. Yet Joleen herself remained missing. The search for her had turned up nothing, leaving a void that was filled with fear and uncertainty. Every lead seemed to end in a dead end, every clue only deepening the mystery. Had Kimberly, with her chilling detachment, made her disappear without a trace? The coldness in her eyes, the lack of emotion in her voice, all pointed to a woman who had become a master of hiding her true self. The question remained, was she a victim of her own mind or a cold-blooded perpetrator? The trial was a spectacle. The courtroom was packed with onlookers, media personnel, and curious citizens, all eager to witness the unfolding drama. The air was thick with anticipation and tension, as everyone waited to see how the events would transpire. Kimberly, now a gaunt figure, disrupted proceedings with outbursts, often claiming to be someone else entirely. Her behavior was erratic and unpredictable, leaving the courtroom in a state of constant chaos. Each day brought new disruptions, as Kimberly's outbursts grew more intense and bizarre. Was this a calculated act, a desperate attempt to feign insanity? The jury watched her closely, their skepticism evident. They questioned whether her actions were genuine or a ploy to avoid a harsh sentence. The tension in the room was palpable as everyone tried to decipher the truth behind her behavior. Or was it a genuine manifestation of a fractured mind? Experts were brought in to analyze her mental state, each offering different opinions. Some believed she was truly suffering, while others thought she was a master manipulator. The debate over her mental health added another layer of complexity to the trial. Despite the lack of a body, the jury found Kimberly Kessler guilty. The verdict was met with a mix of relief and sorrow. The absence of Joleen Cummings' body left a void that the guilty verdict couldn't fill. The courtroom erupted in a flurry of emotions as the reality of the situation set in. Justice, though bittersweet, had been served. Yet questions lingered. Family members hugged each other, tears streaming down their faces. The sense of closure was overshadowed by the lingering doubts and unanswered questions. The trial had ended, but the mystery remained. What had truly driven Kimberly to such extremes? Investigators continued to search for answers, piecing together the fragments of her life. They pored over evidence, hoping to uncover the truth behind her actions. The search for answers was relentless, as they tried to understand the mind of a woman who had caused so much pain. Was she inherently malicious, a predator hiding in plain sight? Or was there something deeper, something that had pushed her to the edge? The possibility of her being a cold-blooded predator haunted those who had followed the case. The idea that she could blend into society, hiding her true nature, was a chilling thought. Or was she a victim herself, consumed by her own internal chaos? The notion that she was battling her own demons, lost in a world of confusion and pain, offered a different perspective. It painted her as a tragic figure, caught in a web of her own making. The duality of her character left everyone questioning what was real. The answer, much like Joleen Cummings, remained lost in the shadows. The truth was elusive, hidden in the dark corners of Kimberly's mind. As the trial concluded, the mystery of what truly happened to Joleen lingered, leaving a haunting question mark over the entire case. The search for answers continued, but some mysteries might never be solved.